A 6-year study predicted the likelihood of a couple's divorce by observing just the first 3 minutes of a conflict. When couples started their discussion with a lot of negative emotion, when they showed very few expressions of positivity, they were more likely to get separated or divorced. In fact, being critical towards their partner predicted divorce. I'm sure you would say, I didn't know that. I didn't know that criticizing my partner during a fight can be so bad for our relationship. Starting our discussion with negativity can be so terrible. Namaskar parents, I'm Dr. Meghna, the therapist mommy. I'm a clinical psychologist and a relationship and couple therapist. And today I'll discuss how couples can fight smarter and especially how to start your discussion in a way that you end up resolving the conflict in your relationship. How you begin the discussion with your partner is super important. This conversation beginner is called a startup. And if your startup is soft, even if the conversation is difficult, your partner will not feel attacked or defensive. Let us imagine an office situation. You fall behind at work and your manager comes to you and says, "Hey, I needed this done sooner. We agreed on a deadline for yesterday, so please get that to me as soon as you can." This is a soft startup. Compare that to this harsh startup. Where are the reports you said you'd file? Could you for once get something done on time? See the difference? Try saying out both these examples out loud to yourself. Do you hear and feel the difference in tone and approach? A soft startup protects both you and your partner from feeling attacked, from feeling defensive. You can bring up a disagreement, you can bring up a concern or an issue or complaint or need without blaming your partner, without judging their character. So how do you use a soft startup and fight effectively? Here are some proven skills for softening your startups when bringing up an issue of disagreement with your partner. 1. Complain but don't blame. I'm fuming. Of course it's my partner's fault that he's not done what he promised he'd do. He promised to clear his desk, but of course he's not done that. But no matter how wrong I think my partner is, approaching them with criticisms, approaching them with accusations, not productive. Our partners and even us, we can feel criticized and blamed with even little things, even small things like body language, like rolling eyes or saying, it can be pretty destructive to our relationship. It's all about how you approach the issue. So instead of blaming your partner with, "You said you would clean your desk today and it's still a mess," try a simple complaint. "Hey, there are still some papers and files on your desk, that need clearing. Can you please make sure it's taken care of?" Second, make statements that start with I instead of you. When you start sentences with I, you are less likely to be critical, so it will not put your partner on the defensive. Instead of saying, "You're not listening to me," you can say, "I don't feel heard right now," right? The meaning is the same, but the latter uses I. Instead of saying, "You're so careless with money," say, "We're a little tight on our budget, and I think that we should try to save some more." So here the focus is on how you are feeling and what you need. The focus is not on accusing or blaming your partner. Now with this approach, both of you will stand to gain something from the conversation, and you will likely feel that you are hearing and understanding each other more. But one very important point here, which I've seen couples often make this mistake in therapy. It's using an I statement is not really an excuse to say something like, "I feel like you never listen to me." That's still a harsh startup. It still blames your partner and still using you. So remember to stick with purely I statements as much as possible. Third, describe what is happening, but not with evaluation or judgment. Instead of accusing, instead of blaming your partner, simply describe what you see. Simply describe what you feel in the situation. Instead of attacking with accusations, "You never watch the baby, you never do this, you never..." Try saying, "I seem to be the only one chasing after the baby today," instead of counter-attacking and lashing out at you. With this approach, your partner is more likely to consider your point of view and what you need, and they will likely try harder to deliver the results that you are hoping for with this approach. Be clear. No matter how long you have been with your partner or how well they know you and you know them, you cannot expect them to read your mind. So you need to make sure that you are expressing your needs in a positive way. Fourth, be polite and appreciative. Politeness while fighting, how does that work? Just because you're fighting with your partner doesn't mean that your respect and affection for them has to diminish. You can fight politely. When we use phrases such as please or I appreciate it, they're helpful for maintaining warmth and emotional connection even while fighting, even during a difficult conversation, which is, of course, exactly when you need it the most. Now here's the interesting bit. Research shows that during conflict, keep up a 5:1 ratio of positive to negative interactions. And this 5:1 is research validated. It's a good rule of thumb for expressing appreciation and keeping a positive attitude even in the middle of an argument. That means for every negative thing you say to your partner, say 5 positive things. Okay? This, by the way, works for children as well. And finally, don't store things up. We've all been there, exhausted, overwhelmed, feel like we are drowning in a whirlpool of problems, and one issue just keeps leading to another. We end up with a whole bucket of issues. We also bottle up our emotions, we bottle up our feelings, and we bottle up our needs. And that's when it happens. I suddenly find myself bringing up a whole list of problems with my partner. Problems that I didn't even intend to tell him. I sometimes even blow up because I've been holding all these feelings in, and my partner's left wondering, isko kya ho gaya? You know, she was fine. When that happens, we become incapable of reaching a resolution. That's why it is not a good idea to put off or postpone bringing up an issue with your partner. Express your concerns, express your needs as they arise, and use a soft startup. And then you will be able to prevent your conflict discussions from escalating. So use these 5 strategies: complain, not blame, use I statements, describe what's happening, use a 5:1 ratio, and don't store things up. And I guarantee you, your fights with your partner will be much more effective and you'll be able to reach a resolution much faster. This is the Therapist Mommy signing off.